Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Racially, we had when my dad remarried, one of his wife's sister. I was going to work with her on the bus, and the bus driver told her to we were sitting in the back, and the bus driver told her to get up, and we stood up, and the bus driver told her to move towards the back because more whites got on. They were standing up then, and then the bus driver told her to get off, and she said, Pauline, she says, I'm not going to get off the bus. And I'm just looking up like this, you know, and the bus driver stopped the bus and walked towards her, you know, like he's going to put her off, and she spit in his face. And I remember that. And I remember that we were arrested. And I remember being downtown with all these people, and they came. And I do know also by that night, Pauline was sent out of town by the family.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't stay in town. My father also had a brother who had done, not spitting in the face, but had come up against some of the white men about their pay, was sent out. He ended up in Canada. You went out that night. I mean, you weren't there the next day. You went out that night because, first of all, it interfered with the whole the process of what was going on in the South. You see, we were in close what they call good families.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you had a person who was not so good doing something. So it meant that you were disrupting.
Yes.
You know, what was going on. She was on a bus out of Alabama that night, and the next time I saw her was years later in Chicago. Mm-hmm.
Always at night.
Always at
when
night.
they had to leave.
Under the cover of darkness.
But the family members who stayed behind were never harassed because of the act that was committed against a white person who was out of line.
Yeah.
I see. That's interesting in itself.
Well, I think what was interesting there is that I think that, you know, people meet under the cover of darkness too, and the whole point is that you get people out of town. That's the whole point.
Yes.
Like, it's like you know, teaching Richard Wright's native son, and understanding exactly that, you know, the South and the North has always had a bigger Thomas someplace, one who in a sense disrupts. You know, we see them even today. People get on the bus, won't pay the guy says you got to pay the fare. The guy said, F you, and keep on going. And I'd always look up and say, oh, we got bigger Thomas here, right here, you know, because he said there are all kinds of bigger Thomases. And in the South, you had that person. And usually, if he had no family, they would kind of just say a little bit, oh, he's strange, he's different, and they let him be. They put him on the level that he was crazy. So the South could tolerate crazy people, you see. But
because they weren't perceived to be powerful.
Exactly. But they could not tolerate someone who's coming up against, in quotes, the laws. You had to get out, you see. Yeah.